Hello, everyone, and welcome to another fantastic enCRYPTID. You're here for the Loch Ness Monster episode, and with me, as always, our resident monster, the New Jersey Devil himself, Cal.
Hey guys, what's going on?
So, we got all these segments, so I gotta see what's going on first. But if you're here, we're gonna be talking about the Loch Ness Monster. We got lore, we got some believe it or not footage, not associated with Ripley's, and some featured creatures where we talk about these stuff in pop culture. But I'm gonna throw it over to Cal because we have a great charity he wants to tell you about.
Before we get into that, I just want to say hi to everyone in the chat. We got Billy, I got Jen and Angelo, Justin, Kimber, and Randall. So hey, what's going on? So yeah, so the first thing we want to talk about our good friends at BFF and Geek to My Nerd, Ashley is holding a charity at our school. So like a donation drive called Pennies for Patients, where their classroom is sponsoring a hero, and their hero is Amari, age 5, a leukemia survivor. So they're giving donations, and we're accepting donations. So please contact her at _Mrs. Davis on Twitter. If you don't feel like contacting her directly, you can always get at me at Beer and Deja Vu. And I'll give you the link on how to donate. But it's for a good cause, Pennies for Patients, for Ashley's classroom. All right, so please donate and let us know. Oh, and Elise just joined us. Hello, Elise.
Speaking of people who just joined us, quick hello to everyone in the chat. We have Justin, our resident man on the street. Billy. Dub I saw here earlier. Hello, Dub. We had Angelo and Jennifer. And, of course, Randall Sands not only is in the chat, he's in our house right now.
Hi, everyone.
What? So, that's fun.
And we might be going to him later because he's our Jurassic expert, being a huge fan of Jurassic Park as well.
Dino DNA.
So, one more thing we'd like to do before we start. Eric Monroe just joined us too. Hey, Eric. How are you? Before we start, we always like to wish a happy birthday to all our listeners that are celebrating a birthday this week. And we do have a lot this week. So starting off with my family, I'd like to wish my aunt Hemba Masi a happy birthday. My cousin Giraj a happy birthday. From my softball team, Tom, happy birthday. From my Destiny clan, Stefan and Chrissy, happy birthday. And then, of course, to our very own beat reporter, Justin from Digital Dice, who's also in the chat and featured on the show several times. Happy birthday, Justin. And I think we actually have one more special person, Tom. I'm going to kick it over to you. Who is that last special person?
Oh, well, of course, it's the most special person in my life, Miss Kimber Barrett, for now. And,
What does that mean?
Barrett. The Barretts for now.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, Randall's going to be here for a few hours during the birthday, so we're going to have a little shindig, and we're going to have some other visitors later on in the week, hopefully.
Yeah, so also happy birthday to Kimber. So have a legendary birthday, all of you. So it was a big week this week, so we got a lot in there, so I'm glad we got them all.
Yeah, for sure. So did we have any artwork this week?
Yes, we do. So our second, thank you for bringing that up. Our second thing is called, the second segment of our show is called Cryptic Creations, brought to you by our very own Janine Devine. And I'm sure you'll be seeing this image later in the show, but this is our own interpretation of the Loch Ness Monster, or Nessie.
Aww.
So she drew it out on paper because she didn't really feel like the digital way was the way to go. So it's a very famous depiction of the Loch Ness, as you guys know, one of the original photos of the Loch Ness, and she took it and sketched it out, and it came out really well. And I'm sure this is going to be available in the store later on as well. So thank you, Janine. And she's also been doing like little artwork for past episodes for you guys to catch up on past episodes and making links for them. So check them out on her Twitter as well, at Janine Devine on Twitter.
Yeah, definitely support her. She does like all the tough logos. She's done a bunch of logos for us. She's always doing some awesome art. In fact, she just won a really cool contest with a Nubia design, who is a African depiction of Wonder Woman. Check all of her stuff out. She makes some really gorgeous stuff. I love the Batman Returns.
We do have some more people joining us in the chat right now. We have Tom Zambino, Chase, Nolan, So welcome all who have joined us. Got a big group today.
There.
And meanwhile, I will be I'm sorting out all this other stuff for us. All right. So speaking of those, we're probably gonna see one of those really soon.
Oh yeah. So I think now it's time we should take a little tour. And tour the lore. Ba ba ba.
We need theme music for this. Just having you sing it though. Where we tour the lore, where we go over the history or mythology of the actual creature.
Yeah. Cal's better at explaining things. I just make up songs.
I love the music, and if you like voiceover stuff, you should really check out Odd Shape Plays, where Tom and our very own Randall do Fallout, and the voice work of the actual people involved, like the bandits and the actual main characters, is great. I won't say who does it, but it's very good. I love it.
The Animal Crossing, I think, might be my magnus opus.
I gotta check that out definitely because I do enjoy all the other.
Actually, after enCRYPTID, I will be uploading the second part to our Animal Crossing. It's actually already uploaded. It's just marked private, so it's there. It's just got to be public. So stay tuned after this episode, and I'll do that.
So, tour the lore. Here's our first image if you want to go into it.
Yeah, that's a dino. Or is it? As I just found out, it's not a dinosaur, but that is a... Randall?
It is a marine reptile.
It's a plesiosaur.
Plesiosaur.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's one of the marine reptiles.
But according to this depiction of it's incorrect.
Correct. That is an older depiction. Whereas now we know that they cannot actually lift their heads up. They can only because they grazed on the bottoms. Their heads were only built to lean down.
So more like the guy in the background.
Yeah, so more like the one in the background. But his is still kind of raising up a little bit, but
yeah,
only really in that motion. They could never really raise it up out of the water like that. That was more of a depiction based on how dinosaurs looked.
But many people for years thought that maybe perhaps Nessie is just a surviving marine reptile.
A plesiosaur from the Jurassic era.
Yes. He would still be in Jurassic Park. It's just not a dinosaur, apparently. But no dice.
Oh, we also got to say hi to Delisha, who just joined the chat as well. Hello, Delisha.
Hello, Delisha. And Tom, I am a musician, and I can find better song for Tour de Lore than anything I can write.
I don't know. I still give Tom's breaking news music for OSP and Chill the best. That's the best, in my opinion. So more about the Loch Ness monster, or Nessie. It's the Loch Ness is located in the Scottish Highlands, and this actual creature itself is depicted or characterized to be large in size with a long neck and one or more humps. It was originally seen, or the most what do you call it? The first ever account of it was actually in 565 AD. So think about how long ago that was. Almost like 1,400 years ago, over 1,400, right? Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, about.
And by somebody named, well, it was a saint. It was a monk who ended up becoming a saint, so canonized. So it's probably a legit account. Saint Columba, where he recounts, they're on the River Ness, so in the same area, the region, where a man was swimming across the River Ness, and he was snatched up by a giant water beast. So that's actually the first account of a monster in the Loch Ness.
That's cool.
Over a century and a half, well, I guess a century and a quarter later, in August of 1933, George Spicer saw what looked like, so they started building a road in that area now around the loch. And during that, cars would travel along this road, and a man named George Spicer and his wife saw what looked like a dragon or a prehistoric creature in the water, and it looked like it had a mouth, it had an animal in its mouth. And the actual creature's body, its torso was about 4 feet high and 25 feet long, and it had a neck that was 10 to 12 feet long. So it looks very much like the depiction that you had here that you showed. So I don't know, like
I could see why people would think it's that. Like when we look at the next picture of the first sighting, it looks very like, I would think it would be like a brontosaurus just standing in water. You know what I mean? So at least this makes more sense. Well, at least it would have when people at that point thought that that's how these not dinosaurs actually lifted their heads.
at least it's telling us that most of the touristy gift shops in Scotland refer to Nessie as a she, so it's a female. Elise is our Nessie expert because she's actually been there and taken a tour and captured a picture of Nessie, which we'll be getting to in a little while in our Believe It or Not segments.
Groundbreaking.
So stay tuned for that. We'll have Tom's music go off as well, probably. Speaking of pictures, though, what Tom was alluding to is our next picture in Tour of the Lore is one of the first ever captures of Nessie, or the Loch Ness Monster. It was taken by a surgeon known as Robert Kenneth Wilson, and it's been aptly named the surgeon's photo. So, Tom, you have any thoughts about this?
Well, I can see why someone would think. I mean, it's when we go and we compare this to one of the videos later, it's very reminiscent of one of the videos, and at least for a photo having no motion attached to it, I kind of think this is more realistic. We do find out later that it is a hoax, that somebody went and built something, but I could see why this would be compelling.
Right, and one of the main reasons why it was compelling, because it was coming from a compelling source. People wouldn't attribute a surgeon or like a doctor to have time for hoaxes and such like that. So they when they heard this, they really thought, hey, there was something out there. But, you know, modern day tools and stuff and analytics have broken this photo down, and this is what you've come out with. Very well done, superimposed over the actual image itself. And you want to go in what you think or what's depicted here?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the logistics of everything, but it looks like they put it on a little buoy and made a little model of the head. And there's the, I guess, dimensions if you want to make your own. But yeah, it's pretty basic.
Yeah. So what prior to this, the analysis, they said it showed by using like certain points in the water and stuff like that, they found out that the actual image of that, the original image, if you look here, was only about 2 to 3 feet in length. So it wasn't a large creature to be that long. So they figured that it was placed on a toy, like a submarine toy, and above that was a little carved out creature head. So that's what it came out to. Just I'm saying, it was basically a deathbed confession by the surgeon himself. Other accounts for this, when you go back to history, is that in 1954, a fishing boat called the Rival 3 had a sonar reading while it was traveling on Loch Ness. They found it. They saw on their sonar that there was a large object about 479 feet below them that actually kept pace with the boat for about a half a mile and then just disappeared. So it's a very large object keeping pace with the boat that was going about, I don't know how fast it was, but knots, maybe 5 to 10 knots. So it's pretty fast. And there was a very large creature following it, and it was very deep down. So a large, like, I don't think small animals were able to keep pace for over a course of a half a mile. So that's pretty interesting to hear.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, Mavis is being super cute and it's distracting.
Mavis cam. Okay. The next thing, another account, was that in 1969, this is something that our beat reporter Justin led me on to, is that Tim Dinsdale has a film of a large hump in the water. So I think we got a video of this coming up later in our Believe It or Not section.
Yeah, I didn't. You said Tim?
Tim Dinsdale.
Yeah, we definitely have that. I see the file right there.
Saw a large hump in the water and he started filming it. Many discounted it as a boat, but digital enhancement in the year of years later, in 1993, about 30 years later, Discovery, the Discovery Channel, has a company called Discovery Communications, where they analyze old photos and videos, and they did enhancement, and they did show a large shadow underneath the water that was following those humps. So it wasn't a boat. So what was it? I don't know. And then the one thing that we're talking about for our mythology and stuff like that in the lore was this guy named Bengt. Sorry, I can't pronounce it though, but it's like Bengt Sjogren. He suggested that the mythos behind the creature, creatures like Nessie, so kind of plesiosaur-like creatures, but creatures like Nessie, but most commonly any water-based large animals, are based on Kelpie legends to keep children away from the water. So do you want to go into what Kelpies are, Tom? Because I know you're more expert than I am.
Oh, yeah. Kelpies were, so these were like the inspirations for, I would almost, like water horse, I would say, except an evil water horse, if you're familiar with that movie. Pretty much they had the ability to turn into actual horses. and they would be like drinking from a like the river or whatever, and then someone would go and like touch them to, like it's a pretty horse, and like their hands would stick to the horse, and then the horse would transform into this monster and then drown the kid or whoever crossed the paths with the kelpie. It was like a very oily, sticky substance. It like oozed out.
Eric in the chat says he's asking me if I remember the Loch Ness Monster from the Dungeon of Doom from WCW wrestling days. And actually, WCW's Dungeon of Doom was great for encryptids because they also did one of the Yeti as well. So that's a good way to feature creature features, at least. I should have thought of that and brought up the Loch Ness for the creature features, but I didn't even think of that. I wish Eric got to be a little. Eric, where were you on that, man? Should have got to us sooner. But thank you for that, Eric. Yeah, I do remember that, and maybe we'll be prepared for the Yeti because I remember the Yeti very well from the Dungeon of Doom. So I guess anything more to talk about for the lore? Does our Dr. Hammond next to you have anything to say about plesiosaurs before we move on?
Dr. Hammond? Anything else on plesiosaurs? They had a diet of fish.
Yeah, they were bottom feeders mostly. They would eat a lot of dead things off the bottom and fish. Their teeth were specifically made for capturing fish. They weren't really made for ripping or tearing flesh or anything like that. They're just like long, just needles basically. So it just kind of snare fish and then eat them down.
They're the prehistoric equivalent of those little catfish that you keep in your aquarium. That like those little sucky fish.
They eat
maybe similar to like a
angler. No, anglers actually hunt.
No, at least their teeth would be similar to what they call
barracuda.
Yeah, kind of like that, but they're freshwater fish. They have long snouts and lots of teeth. They're strictly for catching fish.
Yeah. Alligator. No. Anyway, sorry, as we have a private conversation about fish over here.
Oh, you're talking about gar, like alligator gar? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
garfish.
Nailed it.
Sorry, I watched a lot of river monsters, which was actually they mentioned stuff like some of the like tribes and stuff. When river monsters were mentioned, large creatures, they attributed to something like a Loch Ness monster, but wasn't that obviously because there's like really large catfish or stuff like that, which ended up being really big, but nothing the size of what's the purported size of the Loch Ness monster. Yeah, and just in the chat also said gar as well. So I'm glad we all came to the same conclusion. That case is closed.
I think we should open up some new cases.
And believe it or not, so here we go.
All on the same segue page.
So believe it or not, where we put no affiliation, or who knows, no affiliation with Ripley's, where we look at some footage and say, do we believe it or not? Or who knows? We're not sure yet.
Yeah, a little chupa thingy.
So our first video is, I don't know what order you put it in, so I guess maybe you could explain the video better. I'm going to the first video now.
Okay. Yeah, this is the one I was talking about that was similar to the picture because it just looks like something floating, possibly a log. I'm not seeing it play.
Yeah, it should be playing. I don't know why it's not playing. Let me try it again on another panel. Maybe that's just...
Anyway, the gist of it as we get the video going.
Oh, wait.
Oh, here we go. So but it's pretty just stationary. Like it looks like a log or something. It's not, the head doesn't move at all. It looks like the picture is just floating in the water. What do you think?
I don't know. It's freaking loud though. Okay, yeah. So it just looks like
the sound out.
It looks like it's not moving, and people drive by it on a boat. So it could just be like a log coming out of water. Because if it was something like a creature, I think that boat would probably stop and look at it for quite some time, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I think this is a log or something.
So I would say it's a case of misidentification, for at least for that one.
Who knows what it actually is? I don't think it's Loch Ness.
Yeah, I believe it's real. It's not a fake video, but I feel it's a who knows because it's a case of misidentification.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we will go to our second video.
Yeah. Okay. Is this possibly the hump one?
Yes. I mean, there's a hump coming out of water. It's not the Dinsdale video. I'm pretty sure it's not the Dinsdale video, but there's a hump that comes out of the water and it goes back underneath. See, like, for this, I believe that it's not a big enough wake. For a creature to be the size of what Nessie's supposed to be, That's too small.
Yeah. Like the water that disperses
Right.
isn't appropriate.
People think it could be a seal or an otter. I've heard that a lot.
Because one of the other ones you sent me, I think it's one of the ones we are showing, looks like a dolphin. So I'm wondering if dolphins ever get trapped in this lake.
I don't think there's any way for a dolphin to get.
Well, there's freshwater dolphins.
Yeah, I know, but yeah. So Justin's saying in the chat, there's no reference to size, so you could be.
Yeah.
We don't know if it could be that big or not, and Eric said it could be a baby Nessie, but I don't think there's any way for a dolphin to get inside the loch. Isn't it just like all blocked off?
No, there has to be a way in and out of running water. Otherwise, it'd just be stagnant water.
Yeah, but there's so many lakes that are just surrounded by land that don't have.
Yeah, but they still have a running stream going through them.
Is that true? I don't know.
It would it wouldn't be fresh water if they didn't have water coming in and out.
Yeah, but don't they have like man-made
Even
lakes
dams have to release
that don't have ways in and out?
I don't know. I'm sure someone in the chat may know better. If I can find the guy from Jurassic Park, I'll see if he had any lakes.
Okay, so we'll go to the next video. It's already started, so I gotta give it a second. Elise is saying that the river Ness goes through Iverness, unless I'm mistaken. So yeah, that could be. Justin saying there are seals, eels, and larger fish. That kind of rhymes. Just find something else to say than larger fish. Seals, eels, and something else that rhymes with seals and eels.
It's the aquatic Wizard of Oz, lions, tigers, and bears.
There's a river that flows into the tidal flat before it hits the ocean. So yep.
Real quick, Randall found some information. We're gonna just put it on my camera real quick. You could just go into the camera. This is the size of a fish that is caught in Loch Ness.
Wow.
Yeah, they're called giant sturgeon. They grow naturally in Loch Ness. There's lots of them. They can live for extremely long time. The one that guy caught was actually 78 years old, and they can grow up to, I think it's like 15, 16 feet, but they're freshwater fish and they're massive.
So maybe lots of cases of misidentification just due to having a huge,
could be bigger or smaller.
Huge fish population.
Like 10 to 12 feet.
Tom Zambino says that fish looks delicious and he wants to eat it.
They get about 2,500 pounds.
2,500 pounds. It would feed him for a year.
Justin saying,
yeah. So me and Cal are both on the chat. Justin says that he has a sturgeon in Snake River and they're creepy as hell. But did we have any more of the footage?
Here's another video coming up. Give me a second.
This is like another video. But I thought this one was clearly a dolphin. I could be wrong, but I can't think of anything else that has a fin like that other than a shark. But I can't think of sharks surfacing water anytime, really.
Wait, where's the fin? I don't see a fin.
You'll see a fin. It'll get there.
It could be like an otter or like a seal as well, too, because it just turns the thing into a flipper.
Let's see. Where is it? Maybe I was just... Oh, there. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I see it.
But as Randall was just pointing out that these fish have fins very similar to that.
I think the last footage is the Dinsdale video.
Yeah,
right?
that's it. I just looked, yeah.
Wait, that's not it, is it? Did I play this one already or no?
No, it's the black and white one.
This is all. Oh, wait, is this it?
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, so there's something moving in the water. And everyone says that this was like a hoax because there was a boat. Hey, Geraldine, joining us. People said it was a boat. But then, like I said, Discovery Channel, Discovery Communications did a video on this analysis, and they showed like a big mass underneath the water moving behind that. So,
again, though, there's nothing really for reference.
Right. Justin's asking for the shot in the 60s. Yes, 1960, Justin. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like this is the most believable one, especially if. What's up? Everyone says Billy says it's a boat.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it could be something like I said. It could have a large mass to it behind it, but that doesn't mean it's very hard to like use that footage and try to find. That's not like they can use infrared or anything like that. I don't buy it.
I feel like I buy that more than any of the other videos, though. So here's another film image that was on. This is images now for hoaxes, if you believe it or not. So they saw this like large hump in the water, but if you kind of look, I'm gonna try. Maybe I can zoom into this, but you could kind of make out the face of a dog in the middle because it was blurred out. But there's like, this is the golden one of the dogs, a Labrador Retriever or something, grabbing a stick in the water. So that's what when they actually cleaned it up. That's the dog. You can see the ears on the left and right side of it.
Yep.
But that, yeah, so the guy who tried to hoax it said there's a large mass in the water, but it was actually a dog. You can see the eyes of the dog kind of better and the snout, and that's what was blurred out. Another thing, though, if you look at the next picture coming up, it's from Apple Maps, kind of like a Google Earth thing, and they found this large creature inside Loch Ness, large image of something inside Loch Ness. So right there, what do you guys think that is?
That's definitely one of those fish, probably one of those sturgeon. No? Oh, the nose is all wrong? No.
I feel like it's a whiter thing. When Justin and I talked about it earlier, he thought maybe it's a whale shark. But like, what would a whale shark be doing getting through all the river? Maybe. Could be a whale shark, possibly. Doesn't really explain that well, but I still like to think that's Nessie, in my opinion. Yeah, Justin thinks it's a whale shark. But can whale sharks survive in fresh water? I don't know.
They're saltwater.
Yeah, they're saltwater.
It's too massive to be able to get through the locks.
The chat is saying it's a lot of them are saying it's a large fish. Hey, Mormo, welcome. So yeah, I don't know. I really like this image because when I first saw this, I was like, oh, this is crazy. So I enjoy that.
I used to have this game called Trophy Bass Fishing, and I just had like flashbacks because of the way you're scrolling over this fish. Hey, TJ, how's it going?
Hey, TJ. Okay, so our next two pictures come from our Nessie expert, Elise, on her trip to Loch Ness. So if you look in the background right there, there's Nessie.
Oh.
You see it? Right up under the power line? So she captured a picture of what she believes is the Loch Ness Monster right there. And she says that Loch Ness Monster is very fond of almonds because the tour guide gave out bags of almonds for you to feed Nessie when you meet her. Here's a more zoomed in picture of that. And as you can see, it's probably trees in the shape of Nessie, but you know, one can hope.
Why do you have to crush my dreams?
I don't know. I'm sorry. We're trying to find the truth. So,
you're right.
So like, it's pretty cool. I thought it was pretty cool that she actually found like trees that were in the shape of Nessie. So we brought that up, and she sent it to me. I think. Wait, do I have any more images?
Oh, Tom has another theory in the chat.
It's Godzilla. That would be pretty cool if it was Godzilla.
Garira.
I think that's it for images. So I guess we can go to our next segment.
Featured creatures, where we talk about seeing Loch Ness in pop culture. If you didn't get to see our tweet and send one in, mention it in the chat. We'll bring it up. But featured creatures.
Or when you call in. So if you like to call in, also let us know. We already have a line going. We have Nolan first, then Justin.
Nolan.
Yep.
Nolan cannot call in.
Oh, he cannot call in? So then we got Justin first, followed by Billy, and then whoever else wants to call in, let us know. So yeah, so that was Featured Creatures, our segment where we talk about where we seen or you have seen the Loch Ness Monster in pop culture. So we actually have three, and I have one myself where I saw the movie called Beyond Loch Ness, where it featured the Loch Ness Monster. And like Eric said earlier, Loch Ness was featured in WCW Dungeon of Doom. But so when we went to Twitter, if you want to start with the first one, Tom, this is what we have.
Tom Zambino said a lot of people suggest things. Two people suggested things, but nice try. Was several bits on the Scotland episode of the Grand Tour about Nessie, which I don't know if I used the right picture. Sorry, Tom, if I didn't. In my head, I saw the guy in the middle, and I went to Top Gear, so I don't know. It's the same guys. Okay.
Yeah, we got some other ones in the chat going where Billy thinks he says he might have seen it in The Simpsons.
Nolan says Scooby-Doo and the Loch Ness Monster was a lot of fun.
Another one from Twitter we have is from Kimber. Reggie in the Full Effects music video called "Get Well Soon." I guess.
Yeah, this is my favorite depiction of the Loch Ness monster. He goes through like a divorce, loses the lake in the process during this video. It's very cool. So if you're just interested in seeing a fun story about Nessie, he's a guy in this depiction. Check out Reggie in the Full Effects "Get Well Soon" music video. It's a lot of fun.
So maybe this is just NESS.
Yeah.
Final one's also from Kimber.
Yeah. Kimber, Marshall Erickson is very enthusiastic about his cryptids. We know he loves Bigfoot, and he also loves Nessie. Turns out it is canon in How I Met Your Mother that in the year 2029, he not only found the Loch Ness monster, but captured it. So that's fun.
So he actually captured it, like, and what does he have, like in a house? Like, what's it going?
We'll never know.
In a pool? Oh, so he doesn't go off to where he has it?
It's in the future. It's up to your imagination.
I see. Well,
but I heard it tastes great.
Oh, he ate it?
No, I just made that up.
Why does everything have to go to us eating these things? Like at the end of every episode, we get to like. So should we talk about what we got coming in the future before we go to our?
Well, we got to do our Wheel of Weird, don't we?
So we're going to our Wheel of Weird. All right.
So next week we're going to be doing the ghost episode where we have some in-depth, and we'll bring up the graphic for that later, but some in-depth ghost stories one-on-one. But we're going to be picking something to do for the week after that.
So we turn to our beloved Wheel of Weird, which I never know which way to rotate it on camera. So give me a second.
It looks good. It looks good no matter what.
Here it goes.
Wheel of Weird.
We're doing the White Lady, the ghost. So, the ghost White Lady is what we're doing next.
And for anyone who just thinks we're going to be doing ghosts of white ladies, that's not what a white lady is. A white lady is usually a spurned lover or a woman who freezes to death. They're all over mythology, so it's going to be a lot of fun. We should be able to pull out a lot of examples from not only real mythos, but from from featured creatures stuff. Like Supernatural has a white lady in it. A lot of things do. So
we actually have 2 weeks in a row we're doing ghosts, because next week, if you don't know already, we have our Encrypted Encounters, the first ever one of its kind. We're talking about ghosts. It's our Halloween special where you guys will call in and tell us your ghost stories, and we'll share around a campfire, hopefully, or not. But we'll just talk, pretend like there's a campfire in front of us.
We can get it.
Maybe we can figure it out. I can try. I can get my light, I think, to go like spooky. Like, I think that there's a candle feature in that. We'll figure it out. But yeah, so if you haven't contacted me already, there's a Twitter feed on my Twitter about letting me know what order that you want to call in order, or there's an order of what's calling in right now. But just reply to that and let me know you want to call in and have the story, and I'll put you guys on the list. We currently have 10 people on the list, so please get to me so we can get you guys on the episode and discuss your ghost stories live.
I think I think we might want to cut it off at 13.
Oh, 13. Unlucky. So 13.
You want to tell your ghost
we got 3
stories?
more spots. 3 more spots. Yep. One last thing, we have a current poll going up as well for what to put on the Wheel Weird to replace the White Lady, which has just been chosen. So on the thing we have Spring Heel Jack, the Dover Demon, Shadow People, and Bloody Mary, which I think is currently winning the poll. So please vote. It'll end in like a few days. So we'll see. That's what's going to replace the White Lady on the Wheel of Weird. But don't forget so that's 2 things you guys have to do, our loyal encrypted followers. Vote in the poll. And let us know if you want to call in next week for our Encrypted Encounters. I guess now we can take some calls. I guess we're calling. Oh, well, I'll tell Nolan's story on air while you call Justin, I guess.
Sounds good.
So Nolan's his mom's friend, so I guess that means his mom's friend. Yeah, okay. So his mom's friend was diving in Loch Ness in 2004, and he went so deep that it went really dark and murky, and something large brushed behind him. He ran up to the surface as fast as he could, and he hasn't been back since. So his encounter was that he went diving and he had something brush up against him. I guess maybe now we saw that it could be sturgeon, right? From the picture that Randall showed us. So a lot of these large encounters could be sturgeon, possibly. But, I'd still like to think it might be Nessie. I hold out hope for that.
I don't doubt that Nessie exists per se. I think that I mean, a lot of scientists and stuff that I've read say that there's not enough food for it because, like, it can't exist for thousands of years by itself. It has to be able. What?
Those big ass sturgeon that can eat.
I guess, but it would decimate the I don't know, maybe. So what do scientists know? I'm dumb. Sorry I brought it up.
So I know Justin has a lot more background stuff for us to go over when he calls in. He is our beat reporter for enCRYPTID. He gets us a lot of facts about the history and stuff, certain things, and he had a lot of theories too. He mentioned to me a lot of them. I'm like, oh, just bring it up when you call because you have a lot to say about this. So I'm sure we went over some of them. Tom Zamito saying he has so much faith into all these enCRYPTIDs. That's why we do the show, because we have that desire to learn, the thirst for knowledge, and see if these things are real. And I like to believe a lot of these things are real. In fact, I might know that they're real. I just don't tell you guys because I get in trouble.
Let's believe and clap our hands, guys. Justin, I posted the link in the chat. If you click that should bring you right into the Hangouts. The call's giving me some issues, so that should work. Oh, he's probably calling me on my phone because that happens sometimes.
Oh yeah, X-Files. I want to believe. Speaking of polls, I just thought of the poll that I want to have for the premiere of The Night's Watch next season, which might be in 2019. But I thought of it today because I went out to go get the Game of Thrones beer, and I got inspired. So that's another poll for you guys to look forward to, but in a long time. Hey, Justin, welcome.
Hey, friend.
What is going on?
Not a lot.
We need like an introduction music for him too. We need the boop, 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 for when Justin comes in, or something like that.
I'll work on that.
What's going on? So what have you heard on the street about Nessie?
Well, I mean, we're talking about a sea serpent, basically, is what everything points to. You guys covered basically all of the big stuff. I mean, Nessie is kind of like the granddaddy of all cryptids, in a way. That and the Yeti. Couple of interesting points in, I think it was 1958 and also 33, because I can't keep my dates straight. 33, 58, and 64. Parliament passed an act protecting Nessie, specifically. So I don't know if that lends any credence to things or if it's just kind of an oddball, if you happen to find something, you can't do anything with it.
Today I learned there was a squirrel president, so who knows what's possible.
Weird times. So that was kind of cool. Lake monsters kind of globally are huge. I mean, here in the Northwest, I found that we actually have one not too far away. I'm probably going to take a brief road trip out there one weekend to Lake Chelan, where we have a dragon, apparently. I nearly got taken in by the story of the Willitook, which was created here in the Northwest for a movie in 2004. Up in Canada, they've got the Ogopogo in Lake, I forget the name right now because I'm a professional.
And Lake Champlain has Champ.
Yes, there's Champ and many others. You guys brought up the Kelpie. I hate Kelpie. Yep. I hate them with a passion. They're some of the creepiest. Did
you have a bad experience in the game?
No, not even in a game. It's just it's the story itself of you spot a horse, and if it happens to touch you or you touch it, you're just going to drown. It's just horrifying. Another interesting point would be Aleister Crowley, or Crowley, however you want to pronounce his name, bought a property on Loch Ness. It's called Boleskine House. He bought it in 1899 and was there until 1913, and that was where he attempted to summon 12 demon princes. During the time, there was a rise of Loch Ness sightings, so Nessie sightings. So it's possible that he attempted to summon something and ended up with Nessie. Yeah. So that was kind of cool. There's a lot of interesting stuff around Boleskine House that's not specifically related. A local butcher lost his hand while dealing with Mr. Crowley. Some of the housekeepers themselves have died. And after he left, the major who took the house over shotgunned himself in the evening one night in 1965. So it's always fun for me and weird for me to find just how many connected things there are around all of these cryptids that we've discussed or even just exist in general. I had more.
You had
If
the fissures,
Nessie was-
the deep sea fissures that you told me about.
Yeah. So in 2013, there was an earthquake under Loch Ness, which I think there's some discrepancies now as to whether or not it opened as wide as I think it did, but it added 100 plus feet to the depth of the lake. There are purported theories that underwater tunnels, which lead out to the sea, kind of throughout the loch itself, maybe underwater caves. So, I mean, decent hiding spots potentially for a large creature. It's one of those things you anticipate being so well known. It's hard to do a lot of research into specifics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that too.
Yeah, and the thing
So
is,
what do you
we're
guys
like
think?
trying to break up. We're trying to break up these lake monsters because you talk about the Ogopogo and a champ and all that. So we kind of want to break it up from all these things, like how we did with like Sasquatch and Yetis and Bigfoots and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Skunk ape. We're trying to break everything up just so we can have more, what do you call it, wiggle room for certain things.
Absolutely.
I want to believe it. Like I've been saying before, I want to believe it. I think these deep sea fissures even give more proof to things that might have been living underneath that can come out now or have places to hide. So I like to believe that there is.
Elise says that it's 3 miles deep. I didn't realize that's how deep it was. That's pretty impressive.
It is very deep. It is very deep indeed. And we've got a couple of lakes here in Washington State, which are surprisingly deep as well, that I could believe had their own lake monsters. So when I learned of Chelan, I wasn't super surprised.
And you're going to give us some updates when you go check out your lake monster in your area?
I have video equipment that I've recently purchased, and if I happen to make it over there sometime in the next month or two, I will show you around and see what we see.
Oh, I can't wait.
enCRYPTID exclusive.
I know. Well, he is our beat reporter. I'm telling you, he's our man on the street. And he
makes
finds
sense.
all these things, so he's got it.
So
It makes sense.
in the end, I'd say...
Oh, she said.
No, go ahead.
I was saying she says it's 3 miles long, only 755 feet deep.
Well,
I mean, 755 feet.
I still think with these fissures now, they could definitely go deeper.
Oh yeah, yeah, and anything under 100 feet, like over 100 feet, is more than enough for me.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for calling in, Justin. Did you want to plug anything
absolutely.
before you had to go?
Digital and Dice, we do our podcasts live on YouTube on Thursdays, and on Mondays released to all of the podcasting networks. Follow me where I don't know what I'm doing on Twitter, at JThuluPhoto.
What's tomorrow's topic, or can you not tell us yet?
Tomorrow's topic is still being decided. We did horror in tabletop games last week, and there might be a little continuation there. We're not sure. We're a little fast and loose with topics some weeks, so you'll have to see.
What about holidays in... I don't know. I'm stretching.
No, I think we can make that work at some point.
And you might be seeing them sooner or later on Gamer Grudge as well, because we might be doing a tabletop episode of Gamer Grudge, and Digital Dice have been pretty good about talking to us about doing it. So we'll see.
Working out the details.
Yes.
Yep.
But I know there might be a special guest host that I'm excited about.
Dun dun dun.
Nice.
Well,
So can you go ahead and plug your Twitter handle, because you haven't said that yet.
oh yeah.
Oh, didn't I? JThuluPhoto.
You did.
Thulu spelled ULU. So,
All right, man. Thank you so
awesome.
much.
And we know you're calling in next week, right after Morgan, I think, for the Ghost Encounter. So can't wait to see you next week for that.
I could give you a teaser, but I don't want to give too much away.
Ooh.
It involves a former bed and breakfast turned into a fairly sizable mansion in Snoqualmie. Yeah.
I'm already on the edge of my seat.
Copper ringed well in the basement.
Good.
Mm-hmm. So,
well,
good times.
It's always hard to say goodbye to you, Justin, but we got to get Billy in here.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks a lot, buddy. I'll see you tomorrow on the show.
Yes.
And happy belated birthday. Yep.
Happy birthday too, man. Yep.
Bye.
Bye-bye. I love that guy.
Yeah, he's super nice.
All right. So, up next, we have Billy Billy, I'm just gonna post a link and you click it, buddy. Get on it. Get on it. So, wow, look at that.
That was fine. Billy's always ready. He's like on point with everything. He's like the Flash.
I am the Flash, dude. And also, you accidentally left a link in here, so I just decided, hey, I'll take advantage of it before it goes away. But still, I did it quickly, so.
I'm a fool.
So your thoughts, Billy, on Nessie?
What are my thoughts on Nessie? Yeah, absolutely, Nessie exists. I want that thing as a pet, and also, I love I love all the facts being given and love the videos as always. And the very first thing that I thought of was Napoleon Dynamite when he's like, last week, Japanese scientists placed explosive detonators at the bottom of Lake Loch Ness to blow Nessie out of the water and all that shit.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. There was a Simpsons episode where I think Homer, Mr. Burns, they go to Lake Loch Ness and they actually capture Nessie.
I was just talking about how evil Mr. Burns was earlier today.
He is evil. Like he's probably the devil incarnate, and it's also really sad that I've seen old people that look just like Mr. Burns. And I'm like, you poor people. No. But it's great doing research, and
did you come across anything that we haven't mentioned yet, or Justin hasn't mentioned?
I found in 2009 a man claimed to have found the Loch Ness monster on Google Earth. Apple Maps have also captured a shadowy shape near the lake's surface. I think that might have been one of the videos, and because the image that it shows, it looks more like a fish, honestly.
Yeah.
But apparently in 1970, the majority of the 13th series of Doctor Who was set in and around Lake or Loch Ness. I did not know that.
That's cool. Kimber just looked like she had a brain explosion just now.
Yeah, not the new one. Although that would be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And I found on April 1st, 1972, newspapers announced that Nessie was dead. It was part of an April Fool's Day prank organized by a man named John Shields of the Flamingo Park Zoo, who planted a dead seal in the loch, which that's like, dude, that's terrible.
Was it dead when they found it?
They found a dead seal, and like they used that to prank people into thinking that Nessie was dead. So that is, in bird culture, what we call a dick move. Yeah, Loch Ness Monster has always been one of my favorite, mythical creatures, and I've been so excited for this.
Is
Dude.
your favorite encrypted? Sorry.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I hate picking favorites because I feel bad for anybody that's not a favorite. But
He doesn't want to displease fake monsters.
yeah. Nolan also mentioned the Scooby-Doo and the Loch Ness Monster, which I think they've done a couple times because it's Scooby-Doo. Of course they would.
In the chat, Justin mentions that. We ever say that, Tom?
Yeah, you go ahead. You're on top of it.
That Google and BBC did expeditions to find Nessie, so that's pretty cool. I'm sure they have backlog episodes you can check out for that.
Yep.
Alrighty, well, we got to wrap it up. Billy, did you have anything you wanted to plug?
I'll just plug my social media. You can find me on Twitter at bbusterbill. All the B's are capitalized. I am currently writing an article for the Odd Shaped blog. I just did one on Dragon Ball Evolution with Mac Poole, who is the host of Gamer Grudge, which I really hope
Endel just got a rage look in his eye.
I hope that I don't have to work late because I really want to come on the tabletop episode and be your fact checker. And yeah, you can always find me on the Odd Shaped channel, and you guys know I'm a huge supporter, and I will continue doing that. And just hit me up on Twitter. I love talking with people.
And you are also on the list for our ghost story, so we can't wait to see you for that as well.
I got a good one. It involves the theater. Let's just leave it at that.
Did you shoot Lincoln?
I'll let you decide.
All right. Thanks, Billy. Thanks for everything.
Yeah, no problem. Bye.
Have a good night. Always beats me to it. Do we have any other callers?
I don't think so. I think that's it. Next week, we're going to have a plethora of callers because, as we mentioned, it's our Encrypted Encounters episode of Ghost. So everyone's going to come in and share their ghost story. So it's going to be all callers, a little bit different from what we normally do where we have lore and all that. It's just one segment of just all callers calling in and sharing their ghost stories. So that's going to be fun.
And Cal, Kimber, and myself will also be sharing some of our personal ghost stories in between the calls.
And that's going to be fun. Maybe I'll have different lighting. I don't know. Maybe I'll get the campfire lighting going in the background or something. We'll figure that out.
You know what we should do? We should just get Mormo to hang out in the corner and get the fire background going, and then that'll be our campfire.
I love Mormo's background, man. Just floating through space. I always say I want to see like Major Briggs' head just go and say Blue Rose and just go by, and that'd be great. That's all I'm waiting for. I just wait for that. Yeah. So if you haven't seen last night, we had a new Mormo episode, right? In a way, I guess. I guess that's coming up soon, or are you putting that up, or I don't know, because we had technical difficulties, right?
What was it? Wait, what was the question?
Mormo's episode last night. Is it got to be put up on the Loch channel?
It's there. Mormo's episode is there. There's a few technical difficulties, but we got through an interview with the Cheneys, who are doing a variety show in Austin, Texas, and they are going to be putting out some cool YouTube videos based on the variety shows they do. You can follow them at that Chaney CHANEY_show, and they are right in the starting phases. So catch them. They're really cool people and they're really nice. And other than that, I'm gonna release an Animal Crossing video right after we're done with this. So stay tuned and check that out. And then we also have the other Odd Shape plays on the channel, as well as our Halloween party this Monday, the 30th. Then we have Mormo's going to be doing a special. He's uploading it. We won't have a live Mormo Zone that night because it's Halloween and everybody will be having fun and being busy and spooky. And then we'll be back for the ghost stories next week. So that's everything that's happening on the channel.
What about new Twofer coming up? Oh no, Twofer taking a little break for a little bit, right? Because
yeah, after Halloween we'll get back into it. Episode for this, same with Space Time. We got one more episode left of this season of Twofer, which is going to be Get Out and Stepford Wives.
I can't wait to see that. I'm a huge fan of Get Out. So before I plug myself, I just want to mention one more time for the charity that Ashley Davis is doing with her classroom in school, Pennies for Patients, where they're helping a hero, and their hero is Amari, age 5. He's a leukemia survivor. So please, if you want to contribute, get in touch with Ashley at _Mrs. Davis, or you can contact me at Viren Deja Vu, and I will get you in contact with her as well. So please donate in that. It's a good cause. Do you want to plug anything else before I talk about what I'm doing soon, or no?
Well, you can always go to oddshapechannel.com. There's some fun stuff up there, even though it's a little bit behind on archives and everything like that. I'm trying. But you can also tweet at me at OddShapePanel. You can tweet to Kimber at KimberBatch_OSP. And you can tweet at Randall at Randall Sands. That's Randall.
Yes. Anytime. Just come yell at me.
That's it from this side of the screen.
So you can find me doing aftermaths after every WWE pay-per-view. We just did a recent one for Tables, Ladders, and Chairs, the Raw brand pay-per-view 2 days ago, this past Monday. So just check it up on the Kingslayer Network. Thanks to Tom for making an awesome banner for that. It's now available to check out. Also, we have a Gamer Grudge coming up on Monday, a Halloween episode. So check that out. One of the questions is, what is your favorite horror game? So that's fun to check out. And you can find me at Viren Deja Vu. So I'm gonna put my lower third up here, and make sure you guys hit up Kimber tomorrow because I'm pretty sure it's her birthday. So you can hit at Kimberbatch_OSP and just shower her with some birthday love tomorrow. And we will see you. I guess next week we'll talk about our ghost story. So come check that out. And then in 2 weeks we have the White Lady, was the ghost, not just the White Lady on the show.
Not the Wayans brothers or movie, right? Is that who that is? Marlon Wayans and
That's White Girls, I think.
White Girls. My bad.
I mean, we can just sit there watching that because that'll be fun too.
The sequel to the.
Yeah, they've matured from girls to ladies now. So it's the White Lady. Yeah, so until then, we'll see you guys at our ghost story, Encrypted Encounters. Laters.
Have a great night, everyone.